Hi guys, Andy here, and I'm here to bring you all things mundane and makeup related. If that's your vibe, I'd love it if you would subscribe to be part of my little slice of the internet. And in today's video, I am bringing you the bingo of shame for May. So if you want to see how I duped the Urban Decay Born to Run palette using these two palettes and the look that we're going to create, then let's go ahead and just get on into it. So, this is our first episode video of round 2. This is created by DW at Dub's Beauty Diary and myself. For this round, we are community driven. All of the palettes are picked by the people who participated in round 1. DW and I, if we don't own them, we have to dupe these palettes, whether it be with other palettes in our collection, with our single shadows, what have you, because this is our project, so we have to participate. But for everybody else, if you would like to participate, we post these on the 16th of the month. DW and I post them at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, but just post them when you post them, as long as it's on the 16th. For your palette, you are to randomize 5 to 8 shades depending on palette size, what you're comfortable with, because you can always do more, you could do less, you know. And yeah, if you do not have the palette, but you want to dupe the vibes of said palette with your collection, that is always something you are free to do. We highly recommend and welcome that. We love seeing you guys do that as well. And then just make sure that you hashtag bingo of shame, whether you're posting your video here on YouTube or over on Instagram with your looks. We do also have our little group chat over on Instagram. So if you'd like to be part of that, just send me or DW a message and we can get you added so that you can, in the future maybe help us pick up palette. The May theme that was the Urban Decay Born to Run was suggested by Rene. They will be listed, of course, because they're participating in the description box. But thank you. I don't own this palette. I don't think DW does either. And yeah, I'm very happy that somebody decided to but swatch out all the shades of the palette, because that really helped me in figuring out what I was doing. So, I'm going to show you first. Here's what the palette looks like. If you don't know what the Urban Decay Born to Run palette looks like, here's a photo of just what the palette looks like. And that can sit up there for 2 seconds while I put eye primer on my lid, which this is the Julep. Which one is it? Clay Matte. Julep Shadow Stick in Clay Matte. So that's the palette. My happy spot when it comes to palette bingos is 6 shades. So I did randomize 6 shades. Unfortunately, and you're just going to have to take my word for it, I don't have the screen recording of my randomization. I'm so sorry, but I did randomize it, I promise. It's one of my favorite parts of this whole to-do, so, but I just do not have that. I must not have hit screen record, or I don't know what happened, but I don't have that. So I will also post a picture of the 6 shades that I randomized. It is shade 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 15 in the palette, which I believe it's a 21 pan palette. Just going off memory. So the 2 palettes I will be using today are the Cara Beauty 14 Pro Time Traveler palette. This is the palette I'll be using for all of my matte shades, which I will get into what we got in just a second. And then for my 2 shimmers, this is the Ace Beauté Whimsical Bloom. So we can just go through a 1-to-1 of what I got, because I wrote it down. Plus, this eyeshadow primer just dries to a powder, so it's not that big of a deal anyway. So for shade number 4, that is just a lid setting shade. So this is the shade One Way, which is this first shade right here. I'm sorry, this is a reflective background, but that is this shade. So we're going to set my lid with that, but we got that one. And then shade number 5. Venture. So I got the pink. So I'm going to use this shade. And I've never used this palette. And what's hilarious is it's my Throwback Thursday for this month. When will you guys see that compared to palette bingo? Next week. So a week from today, you'll be seeing another video of me using this Cara Beauty palette, but just this palette. So that'll be fun. Shade number 6 is the shade South, which is this lighter orange right here. So we got that. And then shade number 9 is Destination. We got like this true pumpkin orange, which I was very excited to get. I feel like I got a pretty cohesive look. I was kind of sad that I didn't really get any shimmers, but had it not been for the person in our group chat that swatched the whole palette, I thought every shade I got was matte. But in reality, I got 2 more like satiny shimmers. So that was nice. So those are all the mattes that I got that I'm going to take out of that palette. And then I tried so hard to find shimmers because they're satins. They're not like shimmers. So shade 10, I'm going to take Amber Glow. I got this orange, which this is pretty spot on, I feel, to the vibes. It's a little more orange. The shade in the palette is like a hint more copper. But listen, I'm working with what I got. I spent probably almost 2 hours pulling palettes out of my collection, swatching them and things like that. So we're going with what I have and what I got, and that's okay. And then for shade number 15, I ended up just taking this shade. We're going with Wistful. This is nothing like that shade. But I do not own warm pinks, specifically in shimmers. I was looking in my palettes, and I do not have them because I do not like a more warm-toned salmon-y pink shade. So that's what we're going to use. It's going to be my inner corner shade. And I apologize that I can't get much closer than that. But I don't have that in my collection because it's not something that I enjoy. It's not something I wear. So I hope you guys can understand. I'm very, very sorry, but that is what we're working with. It's honestly not very exciting. Both DW and I were just like, ugh, when we got our color story because it's just not that exciting. I thought the color story looks more exciting than what I pulled. I always wanted this palette and I never picked it up. When it came out, it was way out of my price range, so it's just something that I never had. But it's always something that I thought was pretty. But yeah, so I'm gonna go into, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the light orange, then the pink, then the dark orange. That's what I'm gonna do for mattes. So we have South. But yeah. Is this a palette you owned? Is this a palette you love? That you enjoy? What do you think? How do you feel? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Cause yeah, like I said, it's a palette I always wanted. I just never had it. And now that I'm looking at it, I feel like if I would have bought it when it came out, I would have gotten a ton of use out of it just because of the color story. but it's not something I need now. I'm also very excited for this round 2 because when I originally thought of like, oh, I'm gonna have to dupe most of these palettes that people are putting in the wheel, I thought I was gonna be making like BYOPs with my single shadows, and I was really worried about that. I totally didn't realize, like, just pull other palettes out of your collection and find shadows. Didn't even realize that that was an option I could do. And that makes me feel super dumb. I'm going to take some of the pink. This is my first time using either of these palettes. I do like Cara Beauty palettes. This is the last one that I own, though. So in my Throwback Thursday, we'll have to see if I keep it. It is a pretty color story. And it's going on really nicely. Hopefully I don't get any repeat shades in that video. That would be hilarious, though, to be honest. At least this pink goes with the orange. I do think that that looks nice. And then just gonna go into Destination. The most pumpkin-y color that ever did pumpkin. These mattes are sheer. Like, even this one with a punchy color, like, I'm having to layer it, which isn't the end of the world. I've only ever tried one Urban Decay palette, and it was the Robin Eisenberg palette, so I don't know. I feel like me and Urban Decay just aren't like that, you know? I never had any of the Naked palettes. That was before my time, really. Ooh, these look good on the under eye, though. Let's take a little bit of this shade and blend it out. So now we can go into NYX Glitter Glue. It's getting so hard to get any out of this. I need a new one. And then into the Ace Beauty palette. I'm going to let that sit for 2 seconds. Take this off my hand. And then we're going to take Amber Glow. I'm going to put that on the lid. Ooh. Ooh, that's pretty. And that is very much satiny. And then I'm going to take that Wistful shade. And just pop that right in the inner corner. Oh, that looks nice. That actually turned out prettier than I thought it was going to. I'm going to go take care of my other eye off camera. I'll do liner, mascara, lips, the works. I'll be right back for you so we can discuss my feelings on the palette, the essence of the palette, and I can show you what we rolled for next month's palette. I'll be right back just for you guys. All right, so here's the final look. And I don't mind it. It's very warm. It's been a while since I've done like an orange look. But I think it's pretty. Everything else that's on my face is always listed in the description box in case you're curious. But I can't really give a definitive answer on these palettes because, like I said, it's my first time using both of them and only using a couple shades. Like, the shimmers in this were nice. I think they performed well. The mattes in this, they were sheer, but they built up nicely and they blended. So, like, that's fine. Next week, like I said, you'll be seeing a Throwback Thursday with this guy, so we'll make our decision on whether or not I keep it. And this palette is actually in my chopping block, so I'll be using this one later this month as well to do a palette bingo to see if I keep it. So, very interesting that those are the two palettes that I found shades to dupe the Urban Decay Born to Run. I think overall, I'm happy that it was a palette that I didn't buy. But like I said, I will still stick to, if I had bought it when it came out, I think I would have gotten a crap ton of use out of it. But having it now, I don't think it would get much use just because of the color story. But I do still think it's pretty, and I'm very happy that we did this because I do think the look is pretty. So that's going to do it for this. The new palette that we rolled in actually is from DW. As you can see here, it is the Odin's Eye Planet Spirit palette, which again is a palette that I do not own. 90% of the palettes in this wheel I don't own. So fun for me. We're going to see just what lovely creations I will be able to do over the course of this round because I have like none of these palettes. But DW is very excited that this is the palette we rolled in. So that will be for June 16th if you would like to join in. Otherwise, that is going to do it for the May update. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you're very excited for us to be back in action. And yeah, otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.